You know how a number is usually just a number? Let's say the number 3. It's just 3, right? A simple quantity. Well, in Japanese, it's a whole different ballgame. That same number, 3, can be packed with emotion. It could mean you're surprised, or it could even mean you're disappointed. It's not just about what you're counting, but how you feel about it. So, how do you make numbers actually say what you're thinking? Let's dive in.
All right, let's start with a really basic sentence. 学生が3人います. All this means is, there are 3 students. That's it. It's just a plain fact. There's no feeling, no drama, no judgment. Think of this as our starting point, our ground zero.
But here's where things get really cool. What happens when that number 3 feels different? I mean, imagine you're only expecting 1 student, and suddenly 3 show up. Wow! Or what if you were hoping for a big crowd, maybe 30 people, and only 3 are there? Ouch! See, the number is exactly the same, but the feeling is worlds apart. And Japanese has this amazing, really elegant way to capture that.
Okay, so first up, let's talk about the amplifier. This is what you use when a number feels like a lot more than you thought it would be. And the magic particle we use for this is mo, pronounced mo.
And the rule here is super straightforward. You just tack the particle mo right onto the end of the number. That's it. When you do that, you're not just counting anymore. You're basically saying, wow, that's a lot, or I can't believe there are that many. It's all about emphasizing a surprisingly big quantity.
So, let's circle back to our 3 students. If we add mo, that plain sentence we had before completely changes. It becomes 3人も来ました. You see the difference? It's not just 3 people came anymore. Now it's more like as many as 3 people came. You can almost hear the surprise in the sentence, right? It tells you that, for whatever reason, 3 is a lot more than was expected.
And this works with any number, big or small. Take a look at this one. 昨日学生が20人も来ました. This means as many as 20 students came yesterday. You can tell the speaker is impressed, right? 20 is a big deal here. And it's that one little particle, mo, that's doing all of the emotional heavy lifting.
Okay, so we've got the amplifier down. We know how to say a number is a lot. But what about the flip side? What if you want to say a number is way smaller than you hoped, like disappointingly small? Well, for that, we need a special 2-part team, shika and nai.
Now this one's a little different. The rule is you take your number, add shika, and this is the really important part. You use a negative verb. So shika and a negative verb are basically a package deal. They always go together. When you use them, you're sending a message of only this much, or that's all. It really emphasizes that the amount is small and maybe a little bit sad.
Let's really break this down, because this is where people sometimes trip up. It's a simple 2-step dance. Step 1, you put shika right after your number. Easy enough. Step 2, and you absolutely cannot forget this part. The verb at the end of the sentence has to be negative. Always. It might feel weird at first, talking about something that did happen with a negative verb, but that's the grammar that creates this specific feeling of only.
So let's go back to our students one more time. To say we were disappointed by the turnout, the sentence becomes 3人しか来ませんでした. See the 2 pieces? We have shika right after 3人, and then the verb at the end, 来ませんでした, is negative. The translation, only 3 people came. The vibe is totally different now, isn't it? It's gone from a neutral fact to surprise, and now to a feeling of, oh, that's a shame.
Here's one more example just to make sure it sticks. Haha wa ringo o hitotsu shika tabemasen deshita. Let's break it down. Hitotsu, the number 1, is followed by shika, and the verb tabemasen deshita is negative. The meaning is, my mother ate only 1 apple. And the feeling is that, well, maybe she was expected to eat more. 1 apple just wasn't very many.
All right, we've met our 2 main players, the amplifier, mo, and the limiter, shika. Now let's put them head to head so we can really see how different they are.
This chart really lays it all out. You've got mo on one side. That's for when you're surprised by how many there are. The key is, it always goes with a positive or affirmative verb. Then on the other side, you've got shika, which is for when you're disappointed by how few there are. And the golden rule for shika is that it must have a negative verb. If you remember one thing, remember that verb difference. It's the biggest clue.
So what's the big takeaway here? Well, you've just added 2 incredibly useful tools to your Japanese toolkit. You can now do more than just count. You can express exactly how you feel about those numbers. Okay, let's do a super quick review.
To add feeling to your numbers, if you want to say, wow, that's a lot, you're going to use the number plus mo, and make sure your verb is positive. But if you want to say, oh, that's only a little, you'll use the number plus shika, and you absolutely must use a negative verb. Simple as that.
So there you have it. You're in on the secret now. This isn't just some dry grammar rule you have to memorize for a test. This is how you start to sound more real, more expressive, more human when you speak Japanese. It's the difference between just stating a fact and actually sharing your perspective. So next time you're about to use a number in a conversation, just stop for a second and ask yourself, how do I feel about this number? Because now you know exactly how to tell everyone.